What happened?
Chief, please respond. What is your status? Over. If you can hear me, find transport. Head to the town of Ford.
Sup guys, Okie Bird here, bringing you the Noob's Guide to Legendary for the third mission of the Halo 3 campaign, Tsavo Highway.
Settle down, Marines! Somebody hit the emergency power!
On it, Sergeant.
Kill that man.
Think the brutes know where we are?
Anyone from Charlie 2? We got separated.
Nah, man. Alpha 6, they're all gone too. If you can walk, set your boots on the line. First! Yeah.
What's our situation, Sergeant?
Not sure. Can't reach the commander. I'm too far underground.
Chief's got the right idea. Let's mount up. Get the hell out of these caves.
Let's go!
Driving. I got this.
I'll get the door, sir.
Alright, there's going to be two Warthogs to choose from. Take the driver's seat of the one with the chain gun, not the troop transport hog.
Hoorah!
On the double.
Second squad, we're coming through.
The mission starts out pretty easy, and in this first encounter you can just splatter everything.
Conserve ammo. Run them over.
Well, you heard the man. Especially make sure you get the brute first. Then mopping up the grunts and jackals is trivial. Just over the next hill, there's going to be two Jackal snipers. Now, Halo 3 is actually pretty fair about Jackal snipers not being able to snipe you out of your vehicle. It'll happen very occasionally, but not like it did in Halo 2.
Stay on target.
With the Jackal snipers dead, collect a beam rifle for yourself and one for your Marine passenger. Upgrade him from an assault rifle to a beam rifle.
It's on! Grab on this split. Chief, still can't get the commander. Comms are a mess. Pelicans are scattered. Best thing now, get some distance between us and the base. Brutes are gonna be looking for survivors.
So there's going to be another Jackal sniper up in that raised platform, but if you've got the Marine with the beam rifle, you should be able to deal with him pretty easily. The bigger threat, however, is going to be the Brute and Grunts at the top of this hill, and on Legendary, the Brute carries a fuel rod gun. Now, the Marine passenger with the beam rifle should be able to get him pretty easily, and the Marine on the chain gun should mess him up pretty good, but if you can't pull that off, you can always hop out and use your own beam rifle. Once he's dead, just move up and take out all the Grunts. Ram all the plasma turrets to destroy them so that the Grunts can't use them, and then the only threat is plasma grenades. Once everything's dead, hop out, collect the fuel rod gun, and give it to your Marine passenger. And now you have Rocket Hog.
Shotgun.
This is going to be the first difficult section of the mission, which is the blockade of the dam. First things first, the Phantom. Shoot the guns off of it, and it's possible to shoot it down, but it doesn't happen all that often. In fact, for some reason, whenever I end up shooting down the Phantom, I never survive, and I'm not sure why. Either way, you don't have to worry about it too much because it flies away. What you do have to worry about, however, is going to be the brute on the left, and he always carries a brute shot. Brute shots are not fun to deal with in vehicles. They are not only very powerful, but they will knock you around and knock you out of control. So you want to deal with him first thing. Once the brute's down, then you can deal with the grunts. Just make sure you keep moving so you don't get sniped out of the Warthog by the Jackal snipers. Once the coast is clear, park back here, take cover, and then counter-snipe all the snipers. There's going to be one over here on the right, then slowly peek around this rock. There's going to be two on the dam. And there's going to be one in that raised platform over there, but it looks like the Marines took care of him for me. It's also a good idea while you have the chance to snipe the other brute over there, because he always carries a brute shot, and once again, brute shots are not fun to deal with in vehicles. Once all the snipers and brutes are down, jump back in your Warthog and take out the two shade turrets using the Marine passenger with the fuel rod gun.
Target down!
And if you've done everything correctly at this point, all that should be left are grunts except for two brutes that are hiding behind the dam, and they're really easy to splatter.
I repeat, my convoy's been hit. I've got wounded. We're on the Tsavo highway about east of Voy. Someone, anyone, please respond.
It's also a good idea to hop out of your Warthog and pick up a fresh beam rifle from one of the dead snipers.
Keep moving, Marines! Tsavo Highway's just ahead, Chief.
This is going to be your first encounter with enemy vehicles in the campaign. Now, the two choppers are going to blow the hell out of the Warthog that's just sitting in the middle there doing nothing, but they're not the primary threat in the area. The primary threat in the area is going to be the chieftain with the fuel rod gun. Now, he starts out on top of that low building, but a lot of times he'll hop down and hide behind it, so you're going to have to find an angle where you can shoot at him. Well, thank goodness friendly AI aren't blinded by the flare. Anyway, once the brute chieftain is dead, then you can set about killing the infantry and the choppers. I generally go for the infantry first so that they don't kill the Marines. You also have the turret on top of the hill to worry about, so use the trucks as cover while you take it down. Now here's the rule about choppers. Never, ever let a chopper get behind you. Generally, it's best to think of a chopper like a charging bull. Avoid it to the side as it charges you, then get behind it and destroy it. Anyway, once the two choppers and the turret on the hill are destroyed, all that's going to be left is going to be some assorted brute infantry around the raised platform and another turret over by the door.
Get the damn turret!
When you get close enough to the barrier, you're going to hear the music change. Hop out and toss a frag grenade at the center of it to destroy it. There's going to be some drones that spawn in the back of the tunnel, but they don't start firing until they make it out of the tunnel because normally the barrier would prevent them from doing so. So you can take them down with the Warthog and they won't return fire.
Boy really needed my supplies, Chief. But I'm sure they'll be plenty happy to see you. Head on through the tunnel and give those boys a hand.
Before you do that, go back to wherever you killed the chieftain and collect his fuel rod gun and give it to your Marine gunner. A lot of times he'll be carrying a battle rifle, so swap out your battle rifle for it so that you can make the trade.
This is a great spot for you. Seems like this trade is better. Concentrate on driving. I got this. Move out!
Now you're ready to head through the tunnel and take on the most difficult section in the entire game, the Broken Path.
111. Cruisers above. They found
Say again, Recon? You're breaking up.
something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
Alright, so this roadblock is going to force you out of the vehicle, and now you have to proceed on foot. And in fact, the Marines will automatically jump out, and they will not get back in the Warthog. You can cross the bridge either here, or if you fall down, there's a ladder over by the wall.
Don't worry. It's the buddy system.
Just make sure the Marines cross with you, and make sure they come with you, because you're going to need their firepower. This is why you gave them fuel rod guns earlier.
Master Chief? Finally a good connection. Truth has excavated a Forerunner artifact. We have to assume it's the Ark.
Keep pushing to the town of Boyd, Chief. Resupply birds will meet you in the next valley.
Alright, so have your beam rifle out, and first thing you want to do is snipe this brute that's carrying a brute shot, because he's going to be harassing 2 Marines over there on the right, and you want to try to save them so that you can arm them with sniper rifles. With that accomplished, the 2 Marines you just saved are going to go over and join your Marines with the fuel rod guns, and the Marines with the fuel rod guns are going to be blowing the hell out of the brute infantry in and around the trucks. You can also provide some support with your beam rifle in order to take them out. While you're at it, you can snipe the grunts, but make sure you don't exhaust all of the ammo in your beam rifle before handing it off to one of the Marines. Now those fuel rod gun shots back there are from a brute captain with a fuel rod gun, but he doesn't attack you until you move up, so you don't have to worry about him from back here.
Traps. Relax yet. Yes, sir.
The beam rifle consumes 5 ammo per shot, so stop at around 10 and then hand it off to a Marine.
If you need it back, just ask.
Now go up for the sniper rifle. You're going to have to be quick about this because once you abandon the Marines per se, they move up to the middle of those trucks and they can get killed pretty easily unless you protect them. And in case you haven't figured it out yet, the way you're going to get through this is by having 5 or 6 Marines supporting you. Anyway, once you have the sniper rifle, snipe the brute with the fuel rod gun. It's going to take a body shot and a headshot to take him down. Then once he's dead, you're going to face 3 jump pack brutes. Now, unless you're beastly with the sniper rifle, you're probably not going to be able to land headshots on them, so just aim for their bodies, which will strip their armor, and then switch to the battle rifle to finish them off. The Marines, of course, will help you out with the fuel rod guns. When you hear the music, that means you need to get your ass out of here and up to the bunker. But before you do that, collect the fuel rod gun from the brute captain. Hand it off to a Marine as soon as possible. Now, assuming you've done everything correctly up until this point, you should now be the leader of 5 very badass Marines. 3 should have fuel rod guns, 1 should have a sniper rifle, and 1 should have a beam rifle.
Recon spotted Covenant armor ahead. Pelicans are inbound with heavy weapons. We need to hold out until they arrive.
So normally holding out here is extremely difficult, but if you have the Marines with you, they will shoot down the Phantom, and then you can mop up the brutes with either the elite combo, or a sniper rifle and a battle rifle, or what I'm doing here is I have a plasma pistol and a sniper rifle. This was actually a mistake, but I made it work. So what was once a very difficult holdout section is now a hilariously fun firefight filled with tons of flying, deadly green fuel rod missiles. The only thing you really have to worry about is keeping the Marines alive, and the only thing they really die to is brute shot blasts, so take out the brutes with brute shots first. And of course, before you exhaust all the ammo in the sniper rifle, hand it off to a Marine.
Must be my luck.
There's also another sniper rifle back here to replace it, and battle rifle ammo in the crate. Now usually the second Phantom will fly in right away, but if it doesn't, that means that not enough of the brutes are dead and they're trapped in the wreckage. So use this opportunity to locate and kill the chieftain. He's always going to be stuck on the right side of the wreckage. Right over here. Now, how you take him down is up to you, but the best way to do it is from close quarters because he will not use his fuel rod gun against you if you get up in his face. Now, I didn't do it, but there's also shotguns behind me that you can use to kill him from close quarters. Instead, I used the trip mine and a bunch of headshots from the battle rifle. And And here comes the second Phantom, so that means you need to retreat back up to the bunker. The second Phantom is identical to the first one. The Marines are going to shoot it down with their fuel rod guns, and then you mop up the Brute infantry with the sniper rifle. Again, take out the Brutes with Brute shots first so that they don't kill the Marines.
This way! Alright! Raid! Get to cover!
Now, if you followed my instructions up until this point, taking down the Wraiths should be pretty easy. It won't be able to move into position because of the Phantom wreckage, so that means you can use a sniper rifle to snipe the Brute out of the plasma turret and then hijack it. Borrow a sniper rifle or a beam rifle from one of your Marines if you have to. The only thing I have to say here is don't destroy the Wraith. Beat the Brute out of it and then get in it and move it out of the way, or else the Pelican is going to land right on top of it. You can also use the Wraith to kill any remaining Brutes, and that's what I'm doing here, but I don't think there were any left. And there you go, that's probably one of the most difficult fights in the game. And in case you're wondering, no, that's not edited, I did indeed do that without dying.
Watch it now. Pelican's coming in. Brutes have plenty of armor between here and Boyd, Chief. But this Warthog should help you punch on through.
Alrighty then. The Pelican's gonna drop off a Warthog, and while I admit that this section would definitely be easier in the Wraith, it's a hell of a lot more fun in the Warthog. So this is really the only point in the game that I'm gonna be doing things the hard way just because it's more fun. So, mount up and make sure your passenger has a fuel rod gun. In this case, he's got a sniper rifle, so I'm gonna go fix that. So, back to vehicle combat. Now, first things first, there's going to be a sniper in the raised platform up here, but it's not a Jackal sniper, it's actually a Brute sniper. Now, he's still just as deadly as a Jackal sniper, meaning that he can still kill you in one shot, but he's still pretty easy to take down. Then you're going to face 4 choppers. Use these rocks for cover and lure the choppers to you 1 or 2 at a time. Any more than that and you're just going to get overwhelmed. Now, just like before, the best way to kill a chopper is to get behind it, but this can be complicated when there's more than one chopper. You might be in good position to kill the one by getting behind it, but the other one might end up behind you and then kill either you or the Marines. There's also 2 more Brute snipers back there on the raised platform and 2 shade turrets guarding the tunnel where you exit the area. Once the area is clear, head through the tunnel. Before you begin combat in the next area, pick up the fuel rod gun here and give it to your Marine gunner. He won't be able to use it now, but when you eventually ditch the Warthog, that means he'll have a fuel rod gun. Jump this broken bridge and you'll arrive at my favorite section in the entire game, the roundabout. Now, there is no concrete strategy to get through this area. Death is just a part of this section, and it's going to happen. In fact, getting through this section without dying is almost impossible, and you have to be so cautious that it's not even fun. But there's plenty of checkpoints, and so whenever you die, you're not going to lose a whole lot of progress. The only solid advice I can give is to keep moving so that you don't get blown up by the Wraiths, and to always stay behind the choppers. Do not let them get behind you. Other than that, you're just going to have to watch and see how I do it. Okay, so that said, you're going to face 10 choppers, 3 Wraiths, and 2 shade turrets. Now, to start with, there's only going to be 8 choppers and 2 Wraiths here, and the rest get dropped off by Phantoms. The first Phantom is going to enter the area, traveling in a clockwise direction around the roundabout, and it's going to drop off a Wraith over on the right side of the roundabout that's going to essentially block your path. As you're fighting the Brute choppers, pay attention to this Phantom, because as soon as it exits the area over the mountains, a second Phantom is going to fly in, traveling in a counterclockwise direction around the roundabout, and this Phantom is going to carry 2 brute choppers. You must take cover while this Phantom is overhead, or else the brute choppers will blow you up. Under the bridge here works pretty well. Now I'm surprised that the troop transport hog actually didn't get blown up. And the troop transport hog is actually kicking a lot of ass. It has 2 fuel rod guns in it and a sniper rifle. Now it can be really difficult to keep the troop transport hog alive, and in fact that's why I used this run for the walkthrough, because this is the only time I've ever seen the troop transport hog get this far without being blown up. Usually it won't make it past the first section with just the 4 choppers. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to stay back and let the choppers come to me. If you actively seek out the choppers, you're going to get overwhelmed by 3 or 4 of them. Like I said before, you can only really handle choppers 1 or 2 at a time, or else they'll blow you up. In general, any time that you can see the 2 shade turrets either on the left or the right before the choppers are dead, that means you've moved up too far and you're probably going to die. And the reason that this section is so tricky to get through without dying is because you'll never know which side the choppers are going to come from unless you've died and reverted to a checkpoint. Now, of course, choppers aren't the only threat. At some point, you're going to have to destroy the wraiths. So venture over here and destroy this wraith like so. Now, if not all of the choppers are dead, this is probably going to attract them, so be prepared for choppers to come from this side of the roundabout. Now, this rock serves as an excellent piece of cover to hide behind while the choppers are charging you. Now, that guy took the easy way out, but the rest of them will actually put up a fight. At some point, you're going to have to take out the 2 shade turrets, but this should be really trivial, especially with the Marine with the fuel rod gun in your Warthog. Now, like I mentioned earlier, moving up this far would be suicide, but there aren't all that many choppers left, only 1 or 2. Once all the choppers are down, all that's going to be left are the wraiths and the shade turrets. Now, killing the wraiths can be tricky, but not hard per se. You just have to keep moving and find that sweet spot where you're far enough away that the wraith won't kill you, but close enough that the Marines will shoot at it and kill it. Now, in this case, we've already destroyed one of the wraiths, and we only have 2 left. One's going to be at the bottom of the hill here, and one's going to be at the top guarding the highway. I highly recommend you leave the one at the top for last, or else the one at the bottom will move up the hill and take its position.
Look out! Be an angle! Eat it!
Well, that's a shame. Looks like we just lost a bunch of Marines from the troop transport hog, but there's not really much I could have done about it because they're the ones that flipped their own Warthog. Anywho, last thing you want to do is destroy the wraith at the top of the hill, but hitting it from this side can be tricky. It'll either blow you up or the plasma turret's going to cut you to shreds. Luckily, there's a far easier way to take down the last wraith that doesn't involve getting yourself blown up. Here's how you do it. Don't go up this hill over here. Go over to the side under the bridge. Take up a position right about here, and then shoot the wraith from here. And just because the wraith might evade a couple of fuel rod gun shots, doesn't mean that it can evade all of them. Just keep moving and make sure you avoid that plasma mortar. And there you go, area clear. Head up the hill and get back on the highway. And who doesn't love a little victory donut?
Chief, the gate to Boy is dead ahead. Smash the brute blockade. Open her up.
So we're getting close to being finished with the mission, but there's still 2 brute packs that stand between us and Voy.
Sniper! Move up! The demon must not pass.
This one's really easy to deal with, especially since you have the Marine with the fuel rod gun. The only thing you have to watch out for is brutes with brute shots. Even the jumpers are no threat to you. Now, the only thing worth noting here and in the next firefight is that if you exit the Warthog, the Marines will get out of the Warthog and they will not get back in. So for as long as you want to use the Warthog, you have to stay in it and not get out.
Give me an angle! Gun mental! You're dead! Is it all clear?
Indeed it is. Once it's all clear, move up. Now there's a sniper rifle on the ground here, but like I said, if you get out of the Warthog, the Marines will get out and they'll refuse to get back in. So your first and only real priority here is going to be the turret in the back. Take that out first thing. Once it's down, you can take out the rest of the brutes with the Warthog, but be aware that there's a chieftain in the back and he carries a plasma turret, and more dangerous than that, a drainer. If you get too close to him, he will not hesitate to disable your vehicle and then blow the hell out of it with his plasma turret or a spike grenade. So hang back and take out all the brutes with the Warthog. I generally don't like to move up any further than that crashed Pelican. Now this was a little unexpected, but I kind of rolled with it. Now like I said, the Marines will not get back in the Warthog, but you can still fight on foot. I've got an assault rifle and a battle rifle, and I'm using them to destroy armor and stun them while the Marines finish them off with their fuel rod guns. Once you've killed enough that you can't see them anymore, use this Pelican to get a height advantage on them, and then keep shooting them. If you don't have enough Marines with you to take them down, you can always go back for the sniper rifle next to the hologram of truth. But in this case, I didn't go back for it because I've got enough firepower with just my assault rifle and battle rifle. Clear the area and then destroy the barrier to end the mission.
Done already?
Lord Hood, we made it.
Music to my ears, Commander. What about the Ark?
Fully uncovered, sir.
And we don't have much time. Marines, the Prophet of Truth doesn't know it yet, but he's about to get kicked right off his throne. You will take our city back and drive our enemy into the grave they've been so happily digging. One final effort is all that remains.